Testing 1, 2. Yo, what's up, everybody? Do not want to keep the good grinder folks waiting anymore. The sound of soaring. What's up, Hamana? The Floyd, number one, Gruda Legends. What's up? I was doing some mic tests. I was trying to test out my mic to see if it was working, and I got the audio set up. But yeah, man. Hope everybody's staying safe out there with the craziness that's going on. You know, down in here in New Jersey, they just said stay at home. So, staying at home, I ran out, I grabbed some alcohol, and ran back in. And, yeah, gonna be doing some gaming. I've been playing some Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which actually is a pretty good game. Liking it. And, as you see, Doom from the channel, I've been playing Doom Eternal. Good stuff. But we know what we're here for. Ooh. Oh, yeah, we know why we're here. We know why we're here. Because this week, my goodness, I was on a whole bunch of shows. Shout out to Smooth. I was on Planet Xbox, man. Went there on Wednesday. I was Saltiest podcast. I was on Bit Gaming's podcast. We've been around, and then we did our own UPP podcast, and then myself and Merc 305 did a reaction to the Mark Cerny Snooze Fest, where he practically made a bed for me and put me to sleep. But man, oh man, Garuda, stay inside. These college kids, these damn college kids don't care. They don't care, those kids. Stay inside. Friggin' college kids. Yo, every time I hear the word college kids, man, I think about the what is it? Tucker and Dale versus Evil, man, where they're just like, these college kids are killing themselves around our cabin. What's going on? These damn college kids come up here and these mass crazies. Oh, man. As I think, these college kids, they don't care, man. Stay inside. Stay inside. But, yeah, so what I'm just going to do, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe, like the video, share it out, because it's going to be a good one. It's going to be good. Because I'm just going to give you just a tidbit of like just kind of where my scope was with console gaming this generation and previously, just real quick. Just to kind of give you an idea of how, so like you could understand some of the background of how I feel about everything that's been going on this week and, what's going on in the future, right? So basically, I got my grinds board here. We got the grinds board here. I updated some of the sounds. So Arnold's ready to do.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. And I want to have them answered immediately.
Yeah. I always stream, really? I've been just putting video streaming content on the channel. But yeah, this dude is grinds down. So yeah. So basically, I was diehard Xbox fan. I had the 360 satisfied me for the with its games, services, all that other stuff. I got a PlayStation 3 later on for just God of War and Killzone 2 and Uncharted 2. Played those games, got a little bit of Big Planet, but I always just relied on my Xbox. What's up, social? How you doing? As you come in, like the video, share it out. It's gonna be good. So that's what I stay with 360. I loved all the stuff they did. 1 versus 100. The Xbox Arcade, all the big games they made with the deals with Call of Duty. We're getting all the content earlier that made Call of Duty the place to be on Xbox. Then they had the Halo 2 and 3 and Gears 2 and Gears 3 just kept getting bigger and bigger. Judgment, bleh. And then even Kinect was very inspiring too. Like it was pretty cool. It was new. I beta tested Kinect, and this whole motion control revolution that happened at the end of last generation. And then what happened is that I was like, all Microsoft do is just support everything moving forward, and they kind of automatically get a huge step forward with next generation. Well, unfortunately, we know both consoles didn't do that. And however, throughout the reveals and all this other stuff, I stayed true to just be like, hey, you know what? I like Xbox because Xbox supported its infrastructure. It basically, it gave me the games and made the deals. It got that GTA 4 deal. Like, they were aggressive. They wanted to establish themselves as a serious console to be dealt with. That's what they did in the 360 generation. And I was like, that's just going to continue, right? Why would they change, right? They would just, they matched PlayStation finally. They came at them. PlayStation had some struggles, but caught up. And, now we're kind of going into the next generation. So, the biggest decisions that I made with the Xbox One was that when they showed the games, I understood that reveal was atrocious. They went out with TV. I was like, oh, well, these are all the features. That's nice. And I was like, that's very cool. And then I was like, but they're going to talk about the games at E3. And then at E3, they did talk about the games. And they showed Rise. They showed Dead Rising 3. They showed the biggest one is Titanfall as an exclusive deal, and I was like, oh, there's that next Halo. They're going to sign that. We're going to get Titanfalls this generation, And what's up, Socrates? How you doing? So, like, they did that, right? And I was like, oh, man, Dead Rising 3, that was, like, the point. I was like, yeah. And then I saw Rise. I was like, yeah, and I'm going to get that. Then when I saw the PlayStation 4 reveal, I didn't see, they were doing a lot of the indie stuff. So I didn't get a PlayStation 4 at first, right? And Xbox was all first on Xbox. They showed Killer Instinct. I was like, oh, man, they're bringing Killer Instinct back from Rare, so they're using some of the Rare IP. And they showed Project Spark. They showed a lot of great games. However, their messaging was atrocious, and that's the main thing we'll talk about today, is the messaging that they had. Now, we got the PlayStation 4 reveal, where they kind of embraced a lot of the indie developers. They showed some of their games that they were going to release, but a lot of this indie and, developer-friendly positioning that Sony did. However, I just went with the Xbox. I was like, you know what? Xbox, they evolved their dashboard. They support their platform. PlayStation 3 was using the PlayStation, the PSP's dashboard. And I was just like, they don't support their products. That was my biggest problem with Sony, because I got shafted with the PSP. I bought the PSP and then turned it into just a hack machine, because the games and stuff that they really just didn't, the UMDs and stuff like that, or the UMDs, is that what they're called? Yeah, like it just wasn't, they just abandoned it. And I was like, they just abandoned their products. Like, why? And I felt bitter at Sony. And I liked Xbox with its online and the whole social aspect. I love playing with other gamers and doing this social thing. And coming from an N64 where we just did couch co-op all the time, the Xbox Live was the next evolution for me. So Sony really wasn't embracing online as much as Microsoft did and getting that kind of like, yo, you could have that college experience of just getting your friends in a room and playing all night long with it. And that's what I gravitated to Xbox, and that's why I love the Xbox Live and what they did with online. And I was hoping for some involvement this generation. So that's why I had Xbox, was because of the games that they announced and their support for their online infrastructure. And then I did the Xbox stuff. And then eventually, it was in 2016, I think, 2016, when they announced the price of the Xbox X, I said, you know what? I'm done, rebuying consoles because I just bought a whole bunch of S's. And I'm like, there's nothing new for the X that they were showing. And I was like, I'm not playing my old games again, just better and paying $500. I'd rather take that $500 and put it towards a PlayStation where I get access to a whole bunch of other games that I never had access to because they're exclusive games. And that was my whole notion of going to buy a PlayStation 4 was I liked VR too, but that really wasn't even the reason. It was more of just saying, if I had to spend $500 because I was planning getting on an X, why would I spend $500 to get an X to play Halo Master Chief Collection in 4K better and getting and playing the same games that I had, because the new games were not coming, as you know, as many people know that they just stopped making games. A lot of the new stuff didn't come anymore. After Gears 4, it was kind of like a sink, a black hole, and I was like,
No deal.
I'm not spending $500 again. I'm going to take $500 and I'm going to buy a PlayStation. I had it here next to my TV, and I watched Sony's conference, and that they showed Spider-Man, God of War, and I was like, I'm going to open up this PlayStation. Because I didn't even open it up when I bought it, because I was like, let me watch E3 and see, because I can't believe Microsoft did a $500 machine again. Let me open this up. And I opened it up, and I played all these exclusive games. I played The Order, all of them. We could list them all the PlayStation games. And as I played them, I felt I should have played these when they released. I'll probably pay more money, but I was like, I should have played these when they released. Because I felt like I deprived myself because I believed it. I stayed loyal to one brand, just like, this whole thing, like, I basically convinced myself not to get those games. I was like, nah, I don't want those games. Xbox, they got the games for me. They're doing the stuff. But once Xbox stopped having the games for me, I had to look elsewhere. And also, too, this whole push with PC gaming. So that's why I also got a PC, and I was experiencing that stuff there. So that's kind of the transition. So now we're going to get into... And then since then, I kind of looked at the PlayStation. I played those games, and I basically was like... I don't know if this quality of game. I have been waiting, and I looked at my Xbox, going like, "Yo, man, like what's going on, man? Like where's our counter to this game, this lineup? Because Halo wasn't doing it, and had issues, and it was a messed up story, not the same story. Like, what's going on here?" And I kind of just was like, I got bitter. That's right. Get more games. That's right, Glinda. That's right.
Who's your daddy?
Get more games. What was that? Gleruda says, please tell me you played Infamous First Light, my personal game of Gen. Yes, I did. And no, it was great jumping in at that time with the PlayStation, because they had so many. And also, too, I realized that the PlayStation had so many more deals. It was akin almost to Steam with the amount of deals and sales that they had, where Xbox just kind of did the deals with gold, and it wasn't as aggressive as Sony's flash sales and every week sales. Like, Sony was definitely more aggressive with their store with sales, and I just scoffed up everything. And Infamous First Light was awesome. Yes. Like, yeah, I mean, I played these games. I was like, wow, these games are great. And I kind of, like, because I stayed focused on Xbox, I really didn't open my mind to play those other games. And once I did, my mind is open now. And now I look back with criticism going like, this is what they're giving their fans. Enough. You got to give your fans what they want, because the mind share has shifted. So, that's why Grinds My Gears exists. That's why I want them to be better. And people give them, and people are a little more lenient with how much better they're doing now than what they could be. All right? But we're going to talk about that. So now, this week, okay, history lesson over. Well, we're going to do history lesson. But, there goes my beer. My beer just exploded. Oh, yeah. I slammed it down. Getting hot. Getting hot.
Now, whatever your name is, get ready for the big surprise.
Getting hot right now. All right, so let's go. So this week, specs. You don't come here. Hit that like button. Thank you. You don't come here for the specs. Like, I'm not here to give you a lesson in Mark Cerny, Tech Talk, and some TED Talks here, and all this other stuff. But what I will do is I'll flash the specs. Flash them. We're flashing. Everybody's flashing right now. Here we go. We're flashing them. Flash those specs. All right, here we go. So, what we got? Whoa, what's going on here? All right. So here we go. Open your mind. We're ready. Here's your future. This is it. The future. Pew, pew, pew. All right. So, the Xbox came out first on Monday with their inside deep dive with our good friends at Digital Foundry. Pony Foundry, they used to be called. No more. Now they're legit. They are called the Digital Foundry. They are the legit Digital Foundry now. No more Pony Foundry. And just like 2017, if you go back to my video, 2017 remastered, Digital Foundry got their asses flown out. They got their asses caressed. And they got to play with the hardware of the Xbox Series X. And they had a lot of nice things to say about it. And the big thing that came out was that we knew about the 12 teraflops, 12.1 exactly, 50 CU cores, compute units. You know what that is. Where is he? Oh, my Arnold. It's a CPU neural net processor. I'll do my own Arnold. And then custom RDNA 2 and 16 gigabytes and memory bandwidth. And you see it all there. Internal storage, 1 terabyte custom NVMe and SSD, basically. And we got the biggest thing that I took out of it was the 1 terabyte expansion card. We're back to memory cards now. Proprietary slot in the back of the Xbox Series X to expand the internal hard drive because the speed of it will be needed to run the Xbox Series X optimized games and use features such as the instant resume, which looked really cool for 5 games on it. Very cool instant resume with that. And backwards compatibility, which, that was another kind of topic that came up between the two of them. It's really the memory, the teraflops, and the backwards compatibility. And the memory card that's proprietary, made by Seagate, that's going to go in the back. It's a proprietary slot in the back. That's that mystery slot in the Series X. Digital Foundry rubbed themselves all in it. Thought it was great. Talk technical specs. Go watch Digital Foundry if you want to hear all the tech specs for that one. Then, just like my video that I did on Tuesday, I woke up in the morning.
Put that cookie down now!
And then I looked at my phone.
Whatever your name is, get ready for the big surprise.
And I was like, PlayStation tweets out, deep dive of Mark Cerny tomorrow. The slapback.
You son of a bitch.
So I was like, whoa, this is real? Sony is going to do a presentation on the PlayStation 5 after they just showed a logo. They're going to actually talk about the tech. Finally, insiders, outsiders, etc., Reddit, Twitter, all the folks that talk out their ass.
I lied.
Finally put to quiet. Finally. Because now they're going to show the real specs. Mark Cerny has this thing. I streamed it with Mark 305. We did it. Here it is. We go right to where the arguments happen. The T-flops. Phil unzipped his pants. 12 T-flops came out. Cerny unzipped his pants. And we got 10.2 8 T-flops came out. Who's the bigger man? Who knows? Anyway, they both whipped out their T-flops. They showed that they also have a custom RDNA too, which everybody's, whatever that shit is. You know, that's what I had to say. Whatever I had to say with all this, whatever that is.
Don't get dramatic now, all right?
Okay? And then now, the one thing that I took away as a consumer, as a Mr. Grinds My Gears consumer, because that's what I am. I want to buy a product that has value. I want to buy an entertainment product that's going to entertain me. What I took away is that the expandable storage in the PlayStation 5 is a M.2 drive slot in a bay that you slip it in, and that is a universal open market slot. Now, granted, Sony will have to verify who they approve will be able to be used, like a supporting one, so you don't go buy some back alley hack job M.2 drive from your dealer, and then you go slip it in and it corrupts your whole hard drive. It doesn't work properly. But it's a universal slot. That's the key. It's a slot that's used by general computers, an M.2 slot. Therefore, there will be competition. It won't be just Seagate running the show. It won't be a dictatorship with the Seagate on that. And that is a big deal because they could price that 1 terabyte expansion hard drive to whatever they want because they know that they're the only ones that make something for that slot. Whereas the PlayStation 5 will be able to use an M.2 slot for NVMe drives, which will mean that there will be other brands. There will be a Samsung brand, there's all brands, and you can get them on the open market, which will mean that there might be competition, that might even be sales. But it's a better thing for future expandability of the hard drive. The other thing that's a little noticeable is that their hard drive is 825 gigabytes. 825 gigabytes. I don't know if that includes their operating system on it. I don't know if that's reserved for other things. Is it a 1 terabyte drive, or is it really an 825 that's going to be chipped away at with any kind of operating system and any screenshots and all that other stuff, or the way they're going to use it is that there's this certain amount of memory that's reserved. And that's one of the things that came out of this whole thing. The other thing was backwards compatibility. If you see down here, backwards compatibility was another one. And the PlayStation 4. And Sony says they're testing the top 100 games and that they're working them nicely. Clarification came out because everybody ran with the article saying Sony's only going to have 100 PlayStation 4 games at launch, if that. And Microsoft said our library comes with you. Well, they both clarified it. And Sony goes, we expect all 4,000 games to be backwards compatible on the PlayStation 5. It's just that the challenge is getting them boosted to work with the PlayStation 5. So we're testing them to make sure they work. But all PlayStation 4 games will be there, and they're trying to make their entire library backwards compatible. And then Microsoft says they're playing some select games that are going to work. Basically, it's all software driven. So basically, pretty much the big games will probably work, and maybe some of the other games might have to wait for updates or things like that. But they're all bringing their library with them. The difference is that they didn't talk about PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2, or 1 being backwards compatible at this presentation, which, by the way, hot take, that presentation was very, very technical. It was on YouTube. That should have just been in GDC, behind curtains, talk to the guys, have the spec sheets come out, and do that. But they didn't. They came out on YouTube. They got a bunch of dislikes but a bunch of millions of people watched it because everybody wants to know about the PlayStation 5. And at least we found out where it is. So we're gonna go back to this now. As I stated in the title of this video, is the Xbox vindicated since it had Phil Spencer unzipped and had the bigger teraflops? Is the Xbox vindicated? Are you, as an Xbox fan, are you elated that the power of the X has preceded the power of the PlayStation 5 just with the teraflops? Because all week long they were talking about how the PlayStation 5 is built for speed and the Xbox has power. Brute force power. We're going to get into that because I got the videos queued up. We got the Series X, who said, flap it out on the table, put all the power in it. Here we go. Numbers, numbers, numbers. Heads talking heads. Yes. We have Mark Cerny going, guys, we finessed. We're going to be doing this way. The SSD is super fast. Everybody's saying it. And one of the biggest things that came out this week, one of the biggest things that I want to just get back to the chat and see what's going on here. But what the hell, not that thing. The hell's going on? Back. Sorry, guys, I haven't seen what you guys are typing. Yo. So, catfish. Yeah. Oh, you want to make the screen larger? I'm sorry. Well, oops. I paused my own video here. I'll make that a little bit. Oh, I'll jump back into it. Let me make that screen larger, that display capture. Screen larger. There we go. See if that works. Now I got the overlay there, but at least you see it here, because I'm going to get into... there we go. Back to there. There you go. So, yeah, this is what was going on here. So, now we got... Hold on, let me do this thing here. OBS. Tweet streaming. There we go. Yep, share this out. So, what happened was after the reveal of Mark Cerny's thing, a lot of developers, Jason Schreider, who's not really a developer, but he covers a lot of the stuff, went out there and really were promoting the speed of the PlayStation 5's SSD. And the thing that happened was that saying that it actually could be used as like off RAM and things like that. Like it streams worlds in, and it could help developers change the way they make games because of the speed of the SSD and how it's integrated. And some people were saying that it's definitely much faster than what the Xbox has with their SSD, making it that the things that they accomplished with the PlayStation 5 with their architecture built for speed will affect the way games are being built. The Xbox is more of like it will affect the way the games possibly look and maybe how they run because it just has the power, but the architecture of the PlayStation 5, the way it's built, the finesse of it, the cerniness, or whatever you say, is that it's capable of much faster read and bus speeds. And I'm not really getting into technical, but the developers are excited. And one of the biggest things that was taken away, and we're going to see when I go into this stuff here, is that, again, they led again saying that this is for what the developers wanted. He said, Cerny was like, I went around and toured the world and went to the developers to ask them what they wanted. And I explained this to them. So this is basically what developers wanted. And I think that was one of the biggest problems with the original Xbox One was what happened with the Xbox reveal. Not only that, but they didn't have the developers. And they didn't have the blessing of the developers, or really did what they did, kind of did what they did want already. They wanted, and it's nice to hear both of them, and that's why I say, is Xbox vindicated from what they did in 2013? Well, we're gonna go see that, but he did say that this is what developers want. He went around, interviewed developers, and this is for developers to be built this way, so they're excited, and they came out and really praised this. And I saw a lot of people a little bitter going like, hey, nobody really went around and spreaded the Series X, like, praising this thing. Sony had a bunch of developers, and not just ones that are working on it, but actually other developers that aren't, just like, wow, I'm excited for this thing. And the excitement is definitely in the PlayStation 5 camp with the way that this is built. As I saw from social media what was going on, it seems that there's definitely more excitement from the development community about the PlayStation 5. Yes, they're excited about the power of the next-gen systems, but really that SSD and the architecture of the PlayStation 5 gets developers excited. And you want to know what? When developers are excited and they're really going to use it, that's passion. Passion projects! Not necessarily passion projects, but they will make their games for that thing. And we saw that with the PlayStation 4, who built it for the developers. So the other thing too is the backwards compatibility, and I think I said that before with Xbox said that they are also testing games to work, and expecting about thousands to be able to run on the Series X. Like I said, the way the Series X is being rolled out right now, and I'm gonna give my opinion on this thing, but the way the Series X is being rolled out right now is just very similar to how the X was rolled out in 2017. Digital Foundry got their hands on. They showed us a bunch of old games running better, and the power of it, 6 teraflops, uncompressed pixels, uncompromised, blah, 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 all the terms. VVRs, SSDs, CCSs, IBCs, 123s, I don't know what the hell, all the friggin' marketing terms that they throw out there. RDNAs and ABCs and custom this and that. You know what? I don't care. And if you go back and look at the reveals of the other consoles, it was high-level tech specs, and boom, that's it. They didn't spend the whole time talking to the fans, to us, about what the hell the architecture chips are baked in and stuff. It didn't start until like halfway through the generation, and they got very technical with this stuff. Which I guess, you know, it is what it is. So now I'll go back to the chat here. Yeah, the 123s and ABC. Dude, I don't know what the hell's going on with all this shit. This does not sell me a console. And I can tell you this. From what I watched and what I saw this week, my mind doesn't change. There is no mass exodus. There's no, change in what's going on. Like, this is not... there's nothing that changed. The only thing that happened was that the Xbox is more powerful than the PlayStation 5. And I'm going to tell you this. So now we get to my opinion on this whole thing before I get into showing you what I wanted to show. Hopefully I just made it bigger for the fans. How to make it bigger for the fans. But let me get into this thing, because I can't have distractions on my screen. Only the chat up here. So, yo, what's up, Glorious? How you doing, man? So, again, as I stated before, about the games and the tech that's on here, they are both going to be very powerful consoles, right? We could say that. But is the Xbox more powerful? Teraflop-wise, if that's a true mechanism of speed and stuff? Yeah. And also, they said that the PlayStation's teraflop, basically, the PlayStation's clock is fluctuates, where Xbox runs it at 12. Which, you know what? I don't care, but I think that's kind of dumb. If you're going to say Battletoads needs to have 12 teraflops running on it at all the time, 24 hours a time, like, all the time, like, why is it running the full power of the GPU for Battletoads and for Grounded? And, why is some of these little games going to be, like, using the GPU at full power without throttling it? I don't know. The PlayStation acts more like a PC. Everything gets increased when there's more stuff going on, things like that. And supposedly, the system doesn't have the clock throttling, and it detects this, so it doesn't have all the peaks and valleys that you sometimes have if you push a PC too hard. But anyway, I digress. The main thing is that when we look at this thing, I looked at this stuff, and I was like, yeah, like, I think Xbox is doing a great job. I say they are vindicated from the 2013 reveal, because 2013, as you will see, is that they went after a casual market. They didn't talk to the gamer. They just talked to somebody who watches TV and talk about entertainment. And now they're at least going towards the gamer with this Series X. The issue is that we kind of did this already. In 2017, this was done. They changed the way they spoke to the gamer. They talked to the creme de la creme. Remember Phil going like, the console gamer is the person who buys the most and spends the most. That's who this console is for. And it's probably not going to sell. The Series S, the S is going to be the big seller because that's the budget console. And this is just for those who really want the power, but don't want to go to PC, I guess. And, what's up, Glenda? Say Series X and PS4 better. Watch out for those Switch Pro. Yeah. And then the Switch Pro T-flops, right? And the Switch just breaks the whole T-flop argument to shame, because like that thing's selling and it's like a fucking half T-flop. That thing is selling. Animal Crossing is people going bonkers over it. And that's right, Glorious. Like, and Glorious is a big PC gamer too. Like, I think Glorious plays a lot of PC stuff. But PlayStation is more custom, and Xbox Series X is standard. And that's the thing. Like, and I don't know. I was listening to I shared the video out, but like basically they were saying like the series, like the Series X is more of an American type thing where it's just like put the biggest engine in the machine and just throw it out there, and people figure it out. And the PlayStation is more of a calculated Eastern design. Like where it's like it's basically everything was thought out to optimize. And don't you think that of all this stuff, we come here and look about it? Yes, exactly. The PS5 is a V6 turbo engine and the Xbox is a V8 engine. And they're both going to give you probably but similar performance. But my thing is the optimization. And as you know, that I go back and I see how the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Xbox One X did. Because we were doing the same thing then that we are doing now. We were going there and going, the X is good. And everybody was like, this X is going to be light. Like even Phil, with his hashtag Philness, was like, the X is in its own league. It's not even in with the Pro. It's its own league. And you see the results that we've gotten over the last couple of years. This is not new. If this was happening in 2017, I might be looking with being more open-minded and more excited about the Series X. But since 2016 and 2017, we've did this when this X launched, about how the thing is, and look what happened. The PlayStation 4, this has been the status quo for a number of games, third-party games, because I'm not even going to talk about exclusives, which break the whole conversation, but third-party games. Whereas the X seems to run it at higher resolutions, and the Pro runs it at a lower resolution. Not no 720p or 900p. It runs it at like 1280, 1440. It runs a game like that, and maybe Xbox might do native, it might do 2080, some janky 13, so I don't know, some old weird numbers, 32.1, blah, 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 all this other stuff.
Let Mortal Kombat begin.
All these other numbers. Digital Foundry loves it. But it's basically, in general, the X runs at a higher resolution, and the Pro runs at a little bit lower resolution. However, when it comes to the performance, the part of the video that everybody just seems to just go, whoop, nope. In the resolution war, we win, goodbye. And deletes the Digital Foundry video. If you stick around, and Digital Foundry knows that shit, that's why they put the resolution stuff in the beginning. If you stick around, you watch performance. And exactly what Game Night 123 said. Resident Evil 3 demo comes out. It runs at 60 frames per second. Solid. It dips a little bit in some basic screens, but the X drops down to 30, 29, 40. It doesn't even hit 60. It's sitting around 50. It's giving you the same frame rate performance of the base PlayStation 4. The S is in its own other level because the S is goddamn in the garbage. 1 foot in the grave, maybe 2 feet in the grave, head down, ass in the sand. The S is garbage. That's the killer. That's the Achilles heel to Xbox. Has it been vindicated? The X is Xbox because the S, the Series X, the Series S, not the freaking Series X, these stupid ass names, these stupid consoles that Microsoft makes. The Xbox One S, ass in the sand, 2 feet in the grave. That thing is godly dog. It is a blurry disaster. The PlayStation, and that's the Achilles heel to whatever Microsoft wants to do, is keeping that bullshit around.
And I got the squeeze.
But the X, the One X, is running frame rates of the base Pro. And then you look at the resolution. It's like, oh, well, the X is running it at 4K. Now they say it's a demo. It's not optimized. Oh, wait, what was that? Excuse me?
He is barely my assholes.
What was that? Not optimized. Oh, really? And that's been the motif of a lot of third-party games running on the X and the Pro. The X has the higher resolution. The Pro has a little bit lower resolution. but the frame rates and it's more solid gameplay on the Pro than the X, because the X is brute force rendering 4K. And that's the thing. It's rendering. It's just pushing out a higher resolution and at the mercy of the performance. I don't know why. I don't know if Phil has, he comes walking in.
With kids today, huh? No respect.
Phil's like, you don't respect me? I want 4K because that's what I put on the box. And, I put that on the Scorpio chip, too. I put a 4K on the Scorpio chip, so I want 4K in my games. So the dev's like, okay, whatever, we'll do 4K. But that's all they're using that extra power for. They're using that extra power of the 6 teraflops. Because remember, it's about 2 teraflop difference. Just to push the resolution a bump higher than the Pro. But they're sacrificing performance of the games. I don't know why that's a good trade-off. I think that's a stupid trade-off. But it shows that the development is focused on the PlayStation. And you want to talk about another fun fact. Outer Worlds, right? Phil, the Lawnmower Man Spencer, didn't have trees and bushes and grass in his build of the Outer Worlds. Meanwhile, the PlayStation 4 and the Pro had trees and grass and foliage. Phil went around the goddamn Lawnmower Man. And you could see the game was built probably with the PlayStation as the lead platform and ported over to the Xbox. Let's make it a little high resolution, make it a little low resolution, and ship it. But then the Lawnmower Man, Phil went around, Johnny Appleseed, and then they must have yelled at him. And he came around and goes, yo, throw some grass seed in that game. Outer Worlds patched it later, and they added some grass and trees. But why was it like that before? And this is the thing. Same thing. Daddy Axeman. Oh, yeah. He had no trees and grass. Lawnmower Man. He's the Axeman and the Lawnmower Man. Cutting down trees and bushes. But if you think about it, you paid $500. You walked in Daddy Warbucks style with your gold chains, bought a premium device for $500. And you gotta go and play games that are not optimized, games that are running slower than weaker hardware, games that don't have trees and bushes, games that look similar to a 2 teraflop Protato that's selling for $100 less than you. You just basically, I'm going to tell you, I don't want to be nasty, but this is grinding my gears. You basically picked up a prostitute thinking she was all that, and when you brought her home, she had a beard and a mustache.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Damn right I don't have time for that. You bought a premium experience. He sold you a premium product. Why is it doing this stuff? The excuses. It shouldn't. But you want to know why? It's because that extra power. Yeah, it's it's that extra. Oh man, Gunza. That's exactly. Oh, guys, that's funny. I tell you, I crack myself up with some of the bullshit I come up with. Share, like this video out. I do this shit on Twitter too, man. I just sit there and just laugh at myself. Oh, man, am I introverted? Shit.
Another one. And another one.
It's BAM! Oh shit, I thought you were the Xbox One X. It's BAM! Oh shit, Garuda. Garuda's talking. Yeah, that's right. Catfish. Oh shit. We gotta hit that again. Nobody got time for this. Yeah. Phil Spencer handing out Xbox Ones. This is a premium experience. Get ready for lower frame rates. I'm coming home, my Xbox. Woo! Come on, Phil. Get the hell out of here.
I'm trying to use the phone!
We're really
What?
focusing first on what it means to play these games on your phone. So we thought
Oh,
about how can we
shit.
get as many people playing on a phone as possible.
He don't even care about the console. Phil. Come on now. But anyway, you bought a $500 premium console. I should not see frame rates of a pro in my games. I don't give a shit what resolution is running at. Lower the goddamn resolution. If it can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. If you don't know how to cook, get away from the friggin' stove. If it can't do 4K native, get it down. Who cares? That's demo. But this is not a one case. This is what they've been doing. You look at Call of Duty, the new free one that came out, the Warzone. It runs better on the Pro than it runs on the X, but the X is a little sharper. So what we've been through in the last 3 years to bring this full circle back to those spec sheets, we've been through kind of next generation light already. You get what I mean? These mid-gen refreshes were basically it's next generation light. Like, we've had this spec difference. We've had this power difference between Xbox and PlayStation. This was supposed to change everything. The Beast is coming. Buy your Aaron Greenberg jackets. The Beast. Now the Beast eats beats for breakfast. We've been through this for 3 years. What have you proven to me with the 6 teraflops of Phil Spencer, Phil Ness coming out of those pants? What? The Phil Ness is flowing. And on top of that, that's right, Garuda. On top of that, when he handed you that $500 box, his ass went on a tirade talking about the importance of PC gaming and making PC exclusives and telling people about xCloud and putting games on phones and putting banjos on Switches, their IP on competing platforms, and talking about this world that Xbox doesn't even need a console. As he handed you a $500 piece of hardware in 2017, Sony handed you a $400 piece of hardware and packed it up with Horizon Zero Dawn, with God of War, with Spider-Man, with Neo 2 we're seeing, Last of Us 2, with games that use the power of the PlayStation Potato, I hear. They supported their hardware with their games and let third party may where they lie. What's up, Cyber? How you doing, man? Oh, yeah. It's rant time, baby. Get this video out there. I want the Grindhouse get in here. Get everybody in the Grindhouse. I know it's a Saturday night. Shit. Come on here. We're all quarantined. We've got beers. Let's go.
Let Mortal Kombat begin.
Already spilt my beer? Damn. Come on now. We've been through next generation light. And we've seen what the extra power has done. Has it changed the narrative? Has Xbox Xbox has vindicated itself because it spoke to the gamers. The only problem is that it's too late because they already did their damage. That's the thing that irks me so much, that if this was an Xbox of old, if this was the 2013 Xbox show lineup of games and showmanship of Xbox exclusives and DLC and deals and Killer Instinct and bringing back IPs in a new way and this aggressive Xbox to bring great games to their console to demonstrate their features and their services and their hardware and not be this platform agnostic, put games all over places, put them on Steam, cross-play, scalable. 2 years, we're not gonna have Series X exclusives. We're gonna make little Johnny, who bought an S last Christmas, happy 2 years from now when he becomes a man. What? You're releasing a beast of a console, but in the world that you created, and that's my problem with them. That's why they're not totally vindicated, because they haven't brought the games, nor have they indicated that big games to demonstrate their hardware are coming. Hellblade 2 looks wonderful, but Matt Booty said it himself. What did, I lost the Booty comment, because when he does the booty calls, hashtag booty calls, Matt Booty, let's see. Matt Booty Game Info, because I come back to this, and this is the thing that hurt me. What the? Come on, let's go here. What the hell's not going on? My computer's not working. Phil. It was a Game Informer? I think it was Game Informer. Let's get that clip, because I had it. I can hear a little bit of a... Here it is. Just 7 months ago. And it was right here. This is what I want. This is before Hellblade 2 was announced, but listen to this.
And it's really, for me, a lot of times is likely to be, up.
Nice guy.
I would say that what I love about visiting the studios, though, is just the exposure.
Talking about Hellblade. He's talking about Hellblade right here.
Have made their way into.
Now, this is not insiders. This is not the tech interpreters. This is about gaming. This is not a spec sheet. But just listen to the message that they've been building over the last 2 years and tell me how this comes.
How important do you think Hellblade was to that acquisition? Do you feel like Microsoft would have been just as interested if Hellblade didn't perform the way it did?
Hear this.
Well, I think Hellblade is a great thing to point out as an example, because it is just a great example of the kind of game that we are looking for from the studios that we've acquired recently, which they're not going to be 90-hour AAA games, but what they are
I don't even want to play the whole song. You heard what he said. He lying. D said he lying. He's lying.
I lied.
He's lied. He lied.
I lied.
He lied. D Almighty. Shout out to D. He says he's lying. He says he's lying. He's lying. You bastard.
Don't do that.
The studios they acquired. Yeah. They got 100 guys and they say, guys, let's break up into groups of 10 and make a passion project. I want 10 games from 100 people. Let's go. But it doesn't end there, grinders. It doesn't end there. This is where I'm like, how can, we look at these 12 this console oozing 12 teraflops. It's oozing it. But what did he just say? From our studios, we're not going to make 90-hour AAA games.
I lied.
Is he lying? Is this some fanboy lie?
You son of a bitch.
This is the Booty. He runs the games. He's clapping that booty right now. He's running his studios. Booty games. That's what I call Xbox. They're booty games. Because we forget it's about Game Pass. That's why a premium console is only as premium as the games that are made for it. And the only person and company that's going to make the wonderful 12 T-flops useful is the company that built the goddamn machine. You're not going to go tap on a Yves Gumia and he goes, oh, hey, I'm a Ubisoft. I'm going to use all 12 teraflops. No, Yves not going to do that. You're not going to tap on broke-ass EA and go, Madden got to run on 12 teraflops? They're going to be, man, fuck shit. I got 5 kids to feed. I got 5 games to make, 5 different consoles. I don't have time for that. It's up to you to demonstrate. And that's what we come into every generation. And the show game right now, exactly. Glinton, that's our future right there, right? Halo, Gears, Forza, and booty games. Booty games are coming out next week. A booty game. We'll see how it goes. Bleeding out, we call it. So anyway, Booty's not done. This is my clip, right? Instead, what are we going to get, Booty? What are we going to get?
Going to be are things that are super well crafted. That will have as close to AAA production values as we get, but we're going to scope them so that they can be done well by a smaller studio. So I think that to me, the magic of Hellblade is how well it was built, how compelling its story was, but it is a masterful bit of design constraint and scoping, so that what it does really well. And it's, it's not a 100-hour game, but the 10 to 15 hours gameplay that it is really, really well done. And so I think for us, it was more of a test case of, hey, if we were to acquire Ninja Theory and they were to just continue shipping games of the quality and scope of Hellblade, would we consider that a success? And the answer is yes. And I think that
Hellblade 2. This was before Hellblade 2 was announced, right? So, I'm sure Hellblade 2 is going to look great, and it's going to take advantage of the 12 teraflops, right? Probably. It's going to look really good, I'm sure. Just like Gears 5 looks really good. But he says it right there. Is Hellblade 2 going to be Xbox's God of War? It's not. And then you say, well, why does it have to be? It needs to be, because Microsoft needs a lineup of big games, because those are the things that drive the consumers. And when it drives the consumers to purchase, more developers will develop for your platform. But if you sit out there and mindshare, that's why a lot of games just default went to the PlayStation or were developed for PlayStation first, because of the install base. That's why Nintendo Switch is getting games, because of the install base. In order to grow your install base, you need a library of games, big games, not booty games. Bleeding Edge comes out next week. Bleeding Edge is not going to sell Xboxes, okay? I don't even know if Hellblade 2 is going to sell Xboxes. It was an indie game on a PlayStation exclusive for over a year, and then just went on everything but a Switch. Like, it's a good game, but it was good for what it was. That's the thing with Hellblade. It was amazing for a $30 indie game. That was great. Now you got the funding of Microsoft. I don't know if they could release here's a $40 indie game, Hellblade 2, and people will be like, oh, okay, well, we thought you were going to do more with Hellblade 2. Like, Booty said right here, like, hey, well, if they do the same thing that they're doing, the same scope, I'm happy. That's a success. That don't spew that Hellblade 2 is going to be God of War. And it has to be, because that's the kind of games that Microsoft needs to get. And if they're not going to make those kind of games, then they need to go buy those games. They need to go make partnerships. They need to grab people and start making some things, because they need that influx of subscribers and people to buy their console in order to make their console successful and not get shafted out of games next generation. You're the most powerful console in the world. You better show it. And the games that these little studios are going to make, these passion projects, are not going to really sit well with people who spent for a premium experience. I don't think you're going to spend $15 to $25 to sit in a movie theater, big screen, speakers all around you, to go watch a silent black and white film. You know what I mean? Like, You're not gonna go in. When you go to a movie theater with Atmos speakers, you're going in there to see a big movie, a movie that's made for that system. You're not going to a movie theater to go watch some black and white silent film from the ages, like an old film that's not even rendered in high definition. It's 4:3 screen. Like, that's not why you could watch it, but you're not going to the theater for that experience. You could watch that anywhere. You're going to the theater for the widescreen, immersive, surround sound. So you're paying for a premium experience. Why would you pay a premium experience and then come home and go in there and say, I'm going to watch a whole bunch of just like, made for TV little series shows that's not even high definition? Like, you're not going to. Sam Ash having problems with Ori 2. Another quality control issues that they got there. Maybe. I think so. But the thing is like, that's why it's so hard to really look at these specs and go like, this is a turning point for Xbox. Like, the power they got the power. That's it. I see people just like, we've been vindicated. It's over. Xbox is going to get next generation. Like, this is it. Like, hold the phone. And I think what happened was the celebration got short because after Sony's thing, I see people comparing like, oh, Sony's like Microsoft in 2013. What? No, they're not. Their messaging has been dry, but Sony's still tiptoeing because it has games that are going to sell PlayStation 4s coming out. They're not desperate to get into next generation. It's because, the thing is what it should show you as an Xbox fan, that Microsoft is more interested in trying to sell you another 500, 600 piece of hardware rather than really try to sell you on what ground it is, to sell you on what bleeding edge is coming next week. Have you seen any friggin' marketing? Have you seen any kind of anything to really promote that game except it's going into Game Pass? Like, yeah, it's on the Game Pass. Yay. Yay.
Well, I've got news for you. You're mine now. You belong to me.
Like, has Microsoft done any kind of anything that, this is their game coming up? No, nothing. Because it's a hokey dokey game that's going to get dumped into Game Pass. People will try to promote it and call it a day. And there you go. And they got grounded. Battletoads. Like, they got these games coming out, but Microsoft doesn't want to give it time of day. And they want to talk about next generation. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that should show you everybody's like, so Microsoft's so confident. You know what? Microsoft has always been confident in their hardware, their cloud, their services. But the one thing that they hide all the time is their games. They hide it. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is not doing anything either. And you want to know why we sit here and say these games are not doing anything? Because what they showed is garbage. They didn't do deep dives into these games. They didn't try to make these like, no, hey, and I said this before, that's their problem that Bleeding Edge looks so bad. They should have an eye to go, maybe guys might not take this the right way. They just say it's an Overwatch. Let's show them why this game is awesome. Microsoft won't give it a time of day. Instead, Phil Spencer will talk 7 times about how many teraflops he has in his pants instead of showing a game. That's the difference. That's the difference. That's why when I see a spec sheet, I know what Microsoft is doing. I see what they're doing, and I know that's all just bullshit. They think that they're just going to win the hearts of gamers because of 12 teraflops? They're not going to. It's about the friggin' games. And you want to know why? Let's go back. And this is why. Why does it grind? Why? Because we said Phil Spencer was only on Xbox. Well, let's hear how Phil came out with that Xbox announcement, right? Let's hear him.
Xbox One. We unveiled an ambitious system built for a modern connected living room. Today, we've shared a new generation of games on Xbox One, exclusives like Forza 5, Rise Son of Rome, Sunset Overdrive, and Dead Rising 3. And we've shared how playing those games will be better on Xbox Live. Now, I'm excited to announce that Xbox One will launch this November in 21 markets around the world at $499 in the US and 499 euros in European markets, and 429 pounds in the UK.
Nobody was
Every
excited for a
generation
$400
is
console,
defined by the boss,
$500 console.
the creators, and you, the fans. Thank you for building this community 76 million strong and growing. Thank you for being the ones who wait in line to play new games first. Thank you for the passion and excitement that drives us to be better. We look forward to defining the next generation of games together. It all begins this fall right here on Xbox One. To close, I have one more exclusive title to share with you.
And that was Titanfall. And that's why I bought an Xbox. Xbox, I bought Titanfall and Rise. See, he had the games. The price was too high, but the messaging was bad. And this was, they had games. And they showed the Titanfall, right? But when they got their reveal, right, here's Don Matrick.
At E3, we'll be sharing great news about what's next on Xbox 360. We're thankful to you and proud of our leadership position in this thriving 60 types of content. Core
This is the
casual
infamous
games,
thing.
live and recorded television, sports, and movies. These stories are lighting up on every device, from the big screen to the tablet to the mobile phone. The living room has changed radically over the last 8 years with the addition of the cloud-powered internet, voice and gesture, and more devices. To continue to lead, we must provide compelling answers to new questions. Can we take what you love and make it better? Can we improve a living room that has become too complex, too fragmented, and too slow by harmonizing your experiences? Can
Called
we offer
Amazon
new
Fire Stick.
performance and power to inspire the world's greatest creators? Team Xbox is on a new mission. Design and build an all-in-one system to light up a new generation of games, TV, and entertainment. It must be built for the future with hardware, software, and services that put you at the center. And at its very core, it must be simple, instant, and complete. We believe we can evolve what you love to make it decidedly better and deliver breakthrough innovations. So, it's time for technology to step behind the curtain and for you and your entertainment to take center stage. Today, thrilled to unveil the ultimate all-in-one home entertainment system. The one with the power to create experiences that look and feel like nothing else. The one that makes your TV more intelligent. The one system for a new generation. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Xbox One.
Yeah. And then they went here and said, let's watch TV. And that was the problem. That was the problem. Look at this. You just click. Remember the whole TV thing?
For a human experience.
Yeah.
Become a remote control.
But it was about the games, and I like the games that they had for it. But are they vindicated from this? Yeah. Madden, EA Sports, Sports TV, and here, look at this. This was...
And garnered numerous Game of the Year awards.
Here's
Max Payne and Alan Wake. Remedy are world-class storytellers.
Look at this.
They have created a revolutionary entertainment experience that weaves a cinematic action of intense gameplay with the tension and drama of scripted television, creating a world where each has a direct impact on the other. The actions you take and the choices you make shape your experience as the story unfolds. This is Quantum Break.
Do you think it's safe where we're going?
Yeah, Peyton, I do.
Okay, sweetheart. Let's pack it in.
Hey. What is it that makes you so different?
Are you sure you want to know?
Pretty sure.
See, they had the games. They had the games. It's just their messaging was off. So, you know, if they could do that again, and they could reveal something this summer, a lineup of games that really look amazing, that's no hokey dokey booty game right there, you know? And if you're seeing a next-gen console and they're showing you that stuff, you're like, oh man, that looks intriguing, right? Yeah, well, that's why, like, people forget where it came from. Like, this, look at how this thing was sold. Like, they had the games. They had the games early on. It's just that they just didn't know. They didn't focus on it. They didn't make it look like it was for the console, for the owner. And now, they are talking to us. They're talking to the console with the power and all this other stuff. But they don't have the games to use that power. And that's the biggest fallacy of the whole thing. You want to go back, and now I'm going to talk about like this thing. So look, the PlayStation 4 conference, right? This was their reveal in February.
Now, as to how we accomplish
here he is.
PlayStation 4 is centered around a powerful APU that combines 8 CPU cores with a state-of-the-art GPU with almost 2 teraflops of computational performance.
He said it first.
Putting CPU and GPU on the same die gives them streamlined access to a common pool of memory. And with PlayStation 4, we're taking an unprecedented step. For system memory, we're using GDDR5, the type of memory typically reserved for top-of-the-line, high-end graphics cards. This gives us 176 gigabytes per second of bandwidth and provides a further boost to the GPU performance.
A boost. Remember, he said that a lot.
Now,
PlayStation 5.
earlier I said we were using a highly enhanced.
But see the difference? This is what they needed to do, and hopefully they do this.
We've modified the GPU to make
You know,
easier.
show us some demos, like, you know, tech demos, but like he showed knack and things like that. This is where he introduced knack.
This next live demo is a million object physics simulation.
Yeah, here's his knack. His game that he made. But he was talking very tech there. This with this thing. They didn't show the console, but Microsoft didn't reveal any tech with their reveal. They just said the technology goes in the background. They just wanted it to be a living room thing.
The platform itself to be consumer oriented with a premium place to functionality.
There's a Gaikai guy.
But wouldn't it be cool if you were stuck in a difficult level, like you just can't work out how to get through that door? You could ask a friend on the internet who's finished the game to take over your controller and assist. We've also partnered.
It's funny going back watching these things and see what has evolved. What here's the dev heads. Hey, you want to see something funny? I was watching this. Look who it is. Where is he? There's another demo. Where is it? I saw him. See, he had all devs on the stage and all this other stuff with this thing. Where the hell was he? It was near the end. Oh yeah, their partnership with Blizzard, the dude Diablo.
And we have much more to share with you later.
Man, he used to drive me crazy.
Here
he is. Is that him?
On stage tonight to help illustrate the tremendous support we have for PlayStation 4. This iconic developer is known for making some of the most
But see how they did it?
and creative games anywhere.
So when somebody's like,
This is not only the first time
Sony's not doing this yet, but they got to do something along these lines. So that's the thing. Like, they need to get developers on there. They got to show some demos, and hopefully it's coming. But again, I still think they're tiptoeing because they got that PlayStation 4. But again, we all be wrong, and if they don't, here's Second Son. I saw Triple H here. Where is he? Oh my God! Yeah, there's Dreams. Man, Dreams was announced back then. Nah, he was here. Triple H was here showing Herman Hunst. Oh, here he is. There he is. Triple H.
They are brutal and relentless in pursuit of their so-called justice by a vast. This is a story about the loss of.
One of the things that, anyway, jump down memory lane here. No games go down in flames. You guys are crazy. So, here we go. Right here. Right? This is the other thing that I wanted to. This is it. So, this is what I took back from, that PlayStation 5 spec talk. And similarly, he was speaking in similar fashion about how they achieved such speed and stuff using the stuff that they have, and not just like, maximizing everything and brute forcing it, and kind of like just optimizing it all. And just listen to this, because this is what it kind of reminded me of.
Pixels. 4K TVs provide a staggering 8 million pixels of display resolution. The achievable visual depth and detail are extraordinary. Brute force rendering techniques can, of course, be used to support these displays, but they have unfortunate consequences for console cost and form factor. So, with PS4 Pro, our strategy has instead been to foster streamlined rendering techniques that can take advantage of custom hardware. When coupled with best-of-breed temporal and spatial anti-aliasing algorithms, the results can be astonishing.
So he said, instead of, we could achieve a brute force, but it's going to be cost and venting. Like, it's going to be the heat of the whole thing. Like, he says it right there. We could brute force 4K, but we're going to use streamlining. We're gonna find a way of doing it with the checkerboarding. And this is where he introduces checkerboard rendering.
The titles I'm about to show you are impressively close to realizing the complete potential of 4K displays. These scenes were recorded in real time from PS Pro hardware and are playing back in the theater on a 4K projector. For those of you watching this from home, after the show, we'll be making the footage available in 4K on video on demand so that you'll be able to better appreciate the quality of the imagery we are showing today. These first images are from Marvel's Spider-Man game, developed by Insomniac and announced at E3 this year. The detail of the city is incredible. Minute features such as the pedestrians in the distance would just be blurs on an HD TV set, but here they are crisp characters. As for Spider-Man himself, the texture of the suit is breathtakingly clear in a way that it could never have been before. Here is For Honor from Ubisoft, running on the new console. What we look for in games, the intensity and authenticity of experience, has never been more apparent.
Now, this was an older game.
What you may
I think
find
it was, I don't
surprising
know
is
if it
that
came out.
the models and textures being used here, whether they be for the environment or for these two historic warriors, are in fact the exact same ones that were created for the standard PS4. The difference is in the high rendering resolution that PS4 Pro can support. It is simply transformative. Long vistas and high-resolution geometry, as seen here in Deus Ex: Mankind Divided from Eidos, also highlight the power of the console and capabilities of 4K displays. The extreme level of detail visible in the game environments and characters, such as augmented hero Adam Jensen, brings a greater intensity and welcome new.
It was just showing how they were using their tech to. They didn't brute force it, to keep costs down, and that's why they released it at $400 and not $500. And had to change the casing of it, for venting and change the shape of it, I guess. But the thing is that it's kind of similar. I'm gonna get back to the thing. It's kind of similar to what this thing that's been going on this week. Yeah, I know, Sam Ash. And that's the thing. Like, it's really you look at it and you're just like. He basically kind of did the same thing in saying that, we're using the customized hardware and the streamlining to get these performance specs out of the PlayStation 5. Microsoft just put the big thing in there and said, hey, deal with it. We saw how that handled out, and I went into it before about the Pro and the X and what we've seen. And what I said is that's kind of like next generation light. My expectation is that is just going to continue because both of them are doing doing it the same. Sony is a little less powerful, a little more price conscious, and speedier, and has custom abilities to get the same results, or maybe even better results, or different results, than the Xbox that's sitting there, and hopefully developers take the time to utilize the more teraflops in the GPU. The thing is that we've seen what an environment where a PlayStation selling 2-to-1 does. The PlayStation's the lead platform, and they're not spending that extra time to work over a 40% difference in GPU. It's a 4 to 6 teraflop. Now it's like an 18 or 20. It's like the difference in power is not that big. And these both consoles are going to be very comparable. And that's the one thing that people don't want to hear. They think that it's going to be 2013, 14 resolution gate again. There were so many things, and I can't even go into it with the videos of the problems that Microsoft had with the Xbox that made it not take off. It was launching at $500. It was launching at $500 a week after your competition released at $400. And you throw in an accessory in there that nobody wanted. It is going to continue, D. It is. But nobody wants to hear it. They think that this is the turning point, and nothing that happened this week changed my mind. Nonetheless, nothing that happened this week changed a lot of people's minds. And I think the thing is that everybody wants to jump the gun and go, this is Sony's misstep. Like they want history to repeat itself, because I heard when I was a diehard Xbox fan and listening to all the podcasts and stuff, everybody was just like, well, the leader never, like, they always mess up, and they always mess up going to the next generation, and the other one comes up. You know, PlayStation 2 messed up and Xbox capitalized on that. But then this is our mess up, but now PlayStation is going to mess up next year, and we're going to come back. Problem is that Microsoft's not playing the same game anymore. And that's what I just went on a rant about. If this was the 2015, that fills that 2013 hungry Xbox that was signing exclusives, getting Tomb Raider, getting those exclusive deals with Crytek, and signing, getting Titanfall on their platform, and they're releasing this console, I'll be like, yo, we're going to be in for a treat. But the last 2 years, and the things that have been driving me crazy, is that he focused on everything else but the console, and has really decreased the demand and the need for a console, nonetheless a very expensive console. Like, all of a sudden now, owning a console is like being an elite customer. Like, you have to, like, we're going to market this console to the premium creme de la creme gamer. But that's not our only way. We're gonna get phones and computers, and he spent the last 2 years trying to tell you that streaming is the future, strapping things onto phones and playing that way. PC, everybody, putting my IP on other things. Microsoft has made that message very clear. The console is not the primary piece of success for them. Sony is dabbing in other elements, but Sony is not relinquishing all their IP on PC, giving the Xbox a God of War, or putting anything on Switch. They're not doing that. I know, Hamana, they caught up. They were competitive. And the thing was that with the 360, they actually had developer mindshare. Developers developed easier for the 360, so a lot of games were optimized. Again, everybody's going to go where the game plays best, right? And that's talking not just resolution, that's talking performance. If the game is stuttering all over the place, but it's running at a higher resolution, that doesn't mean an instant win, and we've seen that. There hasn't been a shift in the market. There hasn't been a shift. This has been 3 years, guys. There has not been a shift in the market because of the power narrative. The power narrative in 2013 and 14 and 15, until the X came out, was just created as just another ding, another L to a system that was struggling to gain market share, a system that was changing its evolution between being this proprietary, exclusive type Microsoft and going to a Satya kind of, we want to be like Google. They went through a change with Windows 8 and Windows 10, UWP, Windows 10 Store. Everything was going to save it. Everything was going to be a turning point. I heard it all. Oh, we're getting Kinect out of the box. We're getting rid of the Kinect SDK. That should give more memory in the Xbox so that we could, people saying that give you the equal resolution. Never happened. We took out the ES RAM and the X. We took out the ES RAM. This will help it. Yeah, you had to pay $500 to fix it. It was a $500 fix to a Twitter battle about resolution. And the media ran wild because they got the hits on it. But it was unacceptable for the time. When 1080p's and 4K and you're looking at a game and one console's running at sub what your TV can render it as, and another console priced the same and having, and having games and VR and all this other stuff is outperforming it. Where you're going to go. Nonetheless, the exclusive games. But that changed in 2016. I'm talking before that, when it was just about resolution. You're selling 1080p TVs, and you're also trying to push the 4K market, and then you're seeing these games run at native 900, 720. You're like, well, wait a second. Whoa. It's running less than what my TV is, and I saw it. I saw the fuzz. You don't even know what I went through because I thought I was sitting too close to my TV. I bought like a couch to sit further back thinking I was sitting too close. Meanwhile, I played on PC, and I'm like, I don't have any problem. I can look right at my screen and not have any problem with clarity. Same thing with the Pro. And with the PS4. That little bit of stuff really mattered because it was lower. It was up-resing for a 1080p TV in majority of games. When everybody was talking still 4K. Like, it for the time, it was unacceptable for it to run at that kind of resolution when its competition wasn't. Now, when you talk about it, is it 4K? Is it 2030p? Is it 300, 3000p, 1440p? You're splitting hairs right now because now we're like, you're already above 1080p, so it's going to look clearer. But now you're splitting hairs. Like it's true 4K. It's 4K. It's scalable. It's dynamic 4K. The thing is that we're at such a high fidelity right now in resolution that, those things, you could see it if you really zoom in and have a breakdown, but it's very hard to discern. But if you see a 900p image and a 1080p image, the native resolution of the display that you're showing on is going to show better than something that's upscaled for the native display. You know what I mean? Like that's where it is. Like, and a lot of signals that you get from TV and all that other stuff is already at 1080p. So you're seeing upscaled 4K anyway on your 4K TVs, and you see a difference in quality back and forth. When you had 1080p TVs, like, you running something lower than that, it was a little antiquated. So at the time, that was unacceptable in a company that was changing. So to say that resolution right now has the same impact that it did back then, and that's why this is a win, you got to look at the times and what was going on. And so many people just want to dismiss this and just be like, it's a win. And my problem is that we're not winning unless we're playing great games. The games will speak for itself. Put Last of Us 2 next to Bleeding Edge Battletoads. Put Ghost next to Bleeding Edge Palatoads. These are the games that Microsoft is releasing. Give me Halo and make that Halo the best game that be. Let that game just speak for itself. Let people just want to play that game. I understand it's everywhere. It's all over the place. And even that lessens to kind of the drive to buy the hardware. But still, the games speak for itself. Have that vision to show people a game that they want to play. And everything will just fall into place. Sony didn't have to dress up their Aaron Greenberg in a Spider-Man costume and have him jumping around from buildings to promote Spider-Man. They saw the game. You saw what it looked like. You knew what you get. It's Spider-Man. You know? They don't need to dress up their Aaron Greenberg as Joel and run around Sony headquarters to kind of talk about Last of Us 2. But Microsoft has to shoot people out of a cannon for Sea of Thieves. They got to do an Escape the Room for State of Decay 2. They got to dress Aaron Greenberg as Ori to promote Ori. Great, serious. Like, yeah. Let's dress him up in a costume and have him run around Microsoft headquarters as Ori. That's the ideal marketing. Yeah, Sea of Thieves 2 is going to be the return of the Kraken body. That's going to be the Sea of Thieves 2, Return of the Kraken body. They still never patched in Kraken. He's still missing. It's still the sea dicks popping in the air. But is the PlayStation 5 a beast? It is. And the Xbox is a beast. They're just about where they should be. If the Xbox edges it out in power, that's great. Now put your money where your mouth is, Microsoft, and make a game to show me the difference in power. Show me your exclusive game looking better than Sony, because you want to know what this does, though? And what people don't realize is that they're out there excited about the higher power thing. It puts more pressure on Microsoft to have to show that difference, especially if the difference in price is there. Just like with the X and the Pro. That $100 difference needed to be justified. Microsoft had to justify it. Did they do a good job? No. Have they won an NPD or came in second on an NPD ever since the X launched, the launch month? Have they? Yeah, Stadia's a beast too, right? And Stadia's a beast at headquarters, but once it goes through the internet, it's trash. It's a beast watered down by internet. But if you think about it, what they need to do now is there's more pressure now, because you know what? The flaunting of 12 teraflops is going to come back to bite everybody in the ass. Because now it's going to be that first PlayStation, that first next gen game, multiplat, is going to be compared on all of them. And if the differences are very drastic between the X and the PlayStation 5, all the differences, performance and graphics, they might be onto something. But again, you got to look at the install base and what's the lead platform for development. Will developers shift their development focus to the Xbox when the PlayStation is still supporting that many million? And also, too, the other thing is that Sony is going to have, and they better have, next-gen exclusives. And if that adopts a PlayStation 5 faster than the X, with 108 million install base of the PS4 and a growing install base of the PS5 and global adoption of this console, it's going to be a hard sell to say, hey, let's optimize for the X and port it over to the PlayStation 5. People are going to develop with the PlayStation 5 first in mind and port it over to the X and probably jack up the resolution just like we've seen. Oh, yeah, I just saw a date. It's 90% stronger than the Pro. All I say right now is just look. Has the X gave it to you?
You son of a bitch.
Did the X give it to you?
Come on, don't bullshit me.
That's the thing. It was a beast. It was sold by itself in a year all to its own. Did the Xbox X give it to you? It gave it to your wallet, but did it give it to you?
Take it back!
And for those hanging around here, share a like on this video. We got a special guest here. This has been by demand. I've able to get him back from Japan, and he decided to show up because he's very confident. But you know what? I'm going to let him talk.
That's right, everybody. I'm back. Phil Ness is here. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Oh yeah. What's up, everybody? Phil Ness has returned. You guys wanted me so bad, but I wasn't going to come on the show until I revealed my biggest secret of all. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You knew I had to come out this week. I went out there, I unzipped and whipped out my 12 T-flops of power. Oh yeah. I told you guys, don't underestimate me. I know how to talk the talk, and I know how to walk the walk. And I'm so glad I was able to I've been carrying around this 12 teraflops, and I had to get it out. And I'm glad I did. Because Sony tried to whip out theirs, but mine's bigger. And that's your Phil Ness. I don't have to Phil Ness that one. I'm just overcompensating because I got 12 teraflops that I've been carrying around on my back. But anyway, I'm so glad to be back with Mr. Grinds My Gears. I really hope that I've satisfied him with what I've shown. I've shown him the most powerful console that I could build. But he has to just wait for the game. But he can enjoy Bleeding Edge. Oh man. I know people call it bleeding out. But man, oh man, it is some good gaming. Bleeding Edge. I can't wait to see how that looks with my 12 teraflops this holiday. But man, oh man, such pressure came off my back for showing that 12 teraflop power. And I have to come here because I'm confident in my 12 teraflops. Wait till you see Battletoads. I wore the shirts of Battletoads. Wait till you see the power of Battletoads with my 12 T-flops of Phil Ness. You'll be excited, Rise My Gears. You will be. But for now, I'm going back to Japan. Oh, I can't. I'm grounded right now. Damn, I always like going to Japan. I don't do any game stuff there. I just like eating sushi over there. But yeah, I can't go. I'm grounded. But I'm gonna tell you, Jay, you stick around. You stick around because I got more times that I'm going to show you my 12 T-flops because that is what everybody wanted. They don't want games. They want my T-flops. And I gave it to them. No hand sanitizer. No lube. I unzipped, took it out my back, and I gave the fans what they wanted. 12 T-flops of Phil Ness. And I want to thank you again for having me here. For coming out here because I'm so confident now that it's out of my pain. Thank you very much.
I tell you, that friggin' Phil Ness. I had to get him. You know, with everything going on, Phil Ness can't go to Japan, so I got him in the studio. Man, oh man, that Phil Ness, he knows how to talk, man. He's walking high. He whipped out his 12 T-flops earlier this week, man. That's it. He's ready to go. Cerny talked about speed. Phil talked about power. Digital Foundry. Yep, they loved it up. But I'm going to tell you this, guys, right now. Twitter is a shithole right now. All right? People are all of a sudden spec experts. It's about the games. And I'm going to tell you this. We will see. Because the pressure is on Microsoft. It always has been, and it continues to be as long as they are losing. They need to show the games. And if he comes out at whatever their E3 showcase is going to be from a remote location of Phil Ness and shows me more Grounded and shows me more Battletoads and shows me more of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and shows me more little things. And he goes, oh, and by the way, yeah, we're doing Fable. Like, for the last 4 years. Here's Fable. Oh, it looks like a cartoon game that's scalable because it has to work on a 1 teraflop machine and a 12. Phil, where's our next-gen bangers? Well... And then if Sony comes out and they go, Spider-Man 2 next year, here's Venom. Holy shit. Oh, and by the way, while you're enjoying Last of Us 2 and Ghosts, here's Spider-Man. Here's Horizon 2. Here's a deal that we made here with another company. Bungie's going to make Destiny 3 with timed exclusivity. Like, Sony will do that kind of stuff. They will make those moves to make their console hot. Phil has already committed no deals, no pod exclusives, no next-gen exclusives. They'll just run better. They'll be crush-gen games, all of them. All of them. That's the problem I have. All of them. Really? All of them? All of them. Not 1 or 2, maybe. All of them. Maybe there's a game that's just for next year. No, all of them. Straight out the booty hole. What's up, Shadow? How you doing? Straight out the booty hole. All of them. You sure there won't be a next-gen game that takes advantage of this year? Oh, no, they'll be scalable. They'll be played for... Because little Timmy, this holiday, just bought a cheap-ass sad edition. He's very sad. And little Timmy becomes a man in 2 years. So we got to make sure he's happy. So we're going to make sure that our games that we're making from our Booty Studios runs on little Timmy's Xbox Sad Edition that runs games in a blurry 720p. But that same game and scope of game will run across all our family devices. So if you have an Xbox Series X and you paid $500, $600 for it, we will make sure that little Timmy's game works on your 12 teraflops. But that other console is like a 1.3 or 1.8 to 4 or something like that. And this is 12. Oh, scalability, my friend. Little Timmy's going to see like a black splurge, but you're going to see a character. Oh, scalability. Thank you very much. I'm so glad. So when are you going to utilize the Hovis method and all that special secret sauce that's inside this Series X, this power? Like a game and textures that never before seen, and it can't be done. We hear that every generation. A game that can't be done. Only because of next generation. And Sony's probably going to say that. But again, Sony did not do a great job with their presentation. That wasn't for us. But still, we use the same excuse for Inside Xbox. That's not for us. I don't know who the hell that's for. But this thing was very dry. And it wasn't the excitement. If you go back and watch that 2013 PlayStation 4 reveal, it was very exciting. They need something akin to that. And we'll see if they do. But if they keep doing some dry kind of professional things, they got to have the games because they got to have the sequels to these games that they're making and everything. And the thing is that everything that Sony has said, even though they were quiet, they still had trickled in that they're still committed to making these big AAA games. They didn't have Jim Ryan come out there and say, well, all our studios are not going to make AAA games and 40-hour AAA games. They're just going to make smaller, focused games to scope. I'm like, Jim Ryan did not say that. Okay? That's the difference. Sony's not trying to shove Game Pass down your face saying, oh, look what happened to Gears 5, a AAA game that sold for $60, but it's microtransactioned out the ass. They're still trying to figure out the Nasha. They're still trying to fix the game. When Call of Duty came out a month or so right near it and is rolling out all these different modes and fun things, and Gears is like, oh, we're putting Coltrane in it now. You won't pay $5, you can have him. He has superpowers in other game modes that nobody plays. But if you want to run around in a skin of Coltrane, you can pay $5 if you want, or you could grind in all the different modes. I was like, what? Oh, because you got it for $1 a month, ass. Oh, okay, thanks. I guess that's subscription gaming for you. Sony's PlayStation Now accompanies their AAA lineup. Microsoft's AAA lineup, whatever it is, if it's Halo, which that's going to be huge, better be a huge deal if it works, if it's something. It's rolled into their subscription model, which their subscription model is going to support their cloud model, which is going to support the same game on a phone that's on a PC, because they're doing cloud on PC, and they're going to do Xbox. It's like Microsoft's all over the place. It's like a kid that ate a pack full of sugar and running all over the place, and you're trying to get him to clean his room. They're all over the place. Because I remember who said it in the chat? Let's see. Somebody said something about Stadia. Guys. I'm back. What's up, Transformers G1? How you doing? Guys, just a few months ago, before December, before Phil showed the box, the future was strap-ons and controllers, right? And Final Fantasy Remake, that's another game. But like, it was all about streaming your games to the console. I saw people showing photographs like, oh, this is the future of gaming. Gaming the future, like it's on a phone. Now we're counting GPU flops and clock speeds. But everybody, the same folks, were hyping up streaming to a 5-inch phone. How can I still believe these people are really Xbox fans? You're taking anything that Phil's shoving up your ass. Have your own mind. Speak what you like and what you don't like. We didn't sign up for this. When I was at Xbox, I had expectations. Phone is a nice thing. That's not the thing. You know? Why we were hyping up the future, but what happened? Stadia flopped. Oh yeah, Microsoft won the cloud war. Like, okay, yeah, whatever. And it's like, that's the future, but now we're talking T-flops and GPUs. And you know what? A clock speed of 1 gigahertz is going to change the world. Meanwhile, people are saying, well, I'm streaming this game over my 5G, and it's a 720p streaming with a little bit of lag on a 5-inch screen. What happened to that? What happened to xCloud as the future? We're not going to need consoles. That's what I heard. You go back on all my videos in November and December. It was all about, before they showed that bullshit, it was all about friggin' the cloud. That's the future. We're not going to have consoles 4 years from now, 2 years. We're not having a console. This is the future. 5-inch phones on McDonald's Wi-Fi.
No deal.
It's not. I tried it. It's not. Okay?
Take it back!
Yeah. But that changed. As soon as they showed the Series X, that changed. And now, we're talking a T-flop war. SSD wars. The key is developers going to use this stuff? And it's about optimization. Okay? And nobody can answer that question right now. So everybody claiming who won and all this other stuff. The thing is the one good thing is that all these consoles are going to be powerful. But it's going to be up to the developers to show us that power. And it's really going to be up to the first party to really demonstrate what their systems are capable of. I'm not going to look to EA to go, EA, you're going to show me what my Series X could do? You're going to show me what my PS5 could do? No. It's the first party that's going to show the capabilities of the machine. And my unfortunate reality is that Microsoft's first party, as Booty said, is really focused on small, focused booty games where they'll have some AAA hits, which I'm sure they'll have Gears, Forza, and Halo, which who knows what Gears turned into. And we've seen the impact of the Gears. Like, it hasn't really sustained anything, no matter how many devices it's on. And really to see what their other studios are making. Are they making passion projects, or are they making AAA games to put in a $1 a month subscription? I don't know. But the messaging from them for the last 2 years really didn't even require having another console. So, to be honest, I'm not really excited about it. because the console is not their core focus. So they're not going to make the moves that I will benefit from, where, I get to play things earlier. I get to, games that look optimized for my console because they're making them. They're signing special deals. Like, I was on who was it? I think it was a Salty's podcast? It was somebody's. And shout out to Optimus Code, man. He's a great guy. He knows so much, and he was a developer. And he asked me, like, what would you do if you did Xbox? Like, what would you do? And I wouldn't buy Ninja and Shroud, I'll tell you that. Like, that money would go into making some games. Like, I would take that money and I would have said, hey, Marvel, hey, Platinum, let's work together. I want a Wolverine game on Xbox. Let's go. Then I would go, excuse me, Konami, Castlevania, give me that. I want Castlevania. Let's get a studio, make Castlevania. Let's go. I want one of my studios. I want Silent Hill. Like, those are the moves they need to make. Final Fantasy VII, they should have smelled that and go, excuse Square Enix, I want the 1-year exclusive on my platform. Let's go. Old Microsoft would have done that. They used to tout out Kojima on stage with Don Matrick. They revealed Metal Gear Solid 5 on stage. But those are the moves that I would make to gain gamers' respect, to have gamers from other platforms look at me with seriousness and not make me a meme and not make me a joke and not have Major Nelson McGloves and Phil Ness and make me look like a fool. I would demand that respect because I will get that respect because I will be making the moves that not only my fans want for their console, but I'll be making the moves that other fans would want. If they made a Banjo and Kazooie game, you saw the people crying because Banjo went to the Switch. Imagine if you made a real great Banjo game. You might get those Nintendo dudes to buy an Xbox. And you didn't go haul yourself out and put your games on the Switch. But if you made a game, you might get those guys to come there. If you buy Silent Hills from Konami and you even get Kojima, who's independent, pay him or get him to make that game for your platform. Use the Series X power. Use the X power. This is so, wrong. Sony's doing it. Nintendo got a Marvel exclusive with Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Where did Microsoft get anything? Hello? McFly? Think, McFly, think. You're a joke. You gotta gain gamers' respect back. And you do that by making great games. Making games that people want. Making games that people want to play. And that's the biggest problem. Dumping a bunch of games in a subscription model is not getting people to want to play it. Oh, look, it's here. Okay, yeah, I guess I'll play it. Yeah, sounds great. Even when people talk about it, they're just like, well, it was in Game Pass. I tried it. It's great. It's fun with friends. It's a great... That shit don't do anything. And my thing is the people are like, well, Jez, they don't care if they even sell a console anymore. It's not about the console. Then why the fuck make a console?
Come on, don't bullshit me.
As long as you're making a console, you commit to the product that you're making. That's my biggest problem. It's like a chef who could give a shit about what he's making for his customers. It's like, I don't care if they like it or not. Here it is. Here's that salad. Here's this hamburger that I just made, this gourmet hamburger. I don't give a shit. Well, what about he'll just throw it on a plate and give it out there? Like, yeah, if you want it, eat it. Enjoy. Oh, yeah, I don't care if you enjoy it or not. The fact that you're in my restaurant is all I give a shit about. Well, guess what? Eventually, those people are not going to come to your restaurant if you don't give a shit about the customer. If you don't give the customer what they want, they're not going to stick around. And you've seen this. You've seen the mentality shift of people just going like, they're just not doing what I want. And even the people that are still supporting it 100% still are not satisfied with what they're getting. They still believe, they pray to the heavens, they still believe that these studios, somebody's making the bangers under the table. And I say, why do you believe that? What did you see? What did Booty say? What did they say that I'm missing? All I hear about is subscription games, games made for Game Pass, small focused games, staying small and nimble. We're staying small and nimble for the initiative. That's all I hear. None of that stuff spells blockbuster games. You heard Booty. For those who just joined in, you heard Booty.
It does really well, and it's not a 100-hour game, but the 10 smaller studio. So I think to me the magic of Hellblade.
He says it right here.
It is just a great example of the kind of game that we are looking for from the studios that we've acquired recently, which they're not going to be 90-hour AAA games.
He says they're not going to be. He's like, well, one or two of them are not going to be that, but we're making No, he says they're not the studios we acquired. He didn't say the studio we acquired, a studio. He says the studios. And my thing is he lying?
I lied.
Is he lying? Is he just bullshitting you? He's really making bangers and he doesn't want to talk about them because he's hiding them. He seems pretty damn honest that, we bought these studios to make small, focused games. So when I hear that, and then I hear him go, well, we're going to also make these small, focused games scalable across our family of devices for the next 2 years. When I see 12 teraflops, I'm just like, whatever. That's a waste of teraflops. But he says it.
But what they are going to be are things that are super well crafted, that will have as close to AAA production values as we get.
Like, that don't sound... Booty talking out of his booty. That don't sound like something that's going to drive people to buy the next-gen console. See, Transformer 1? Exactly. See? And I'm telling you, you bring that, Xbox fans, you tell them Mech Assault, what Transformer 1's saying. It was me, I'll have Playground, make a PGR game, straight up arcade, not open world, Coalition Initiative, new AAA IP, work with Capcom on Dino Crisis, that's huge, work with Rocksteady and Matrix, oh my god, yeah! Now you're talking. But if you say that, people are like, oh, no. But the real people, they will go bonkers. But what Transformer G1 is saying is exactly what they need to do for next generation. And that's the kind of announcements, that's the kind of show that I want to see if I'm going to say Xbox is coming back and is vindicated. Sony doesn't have to do that. Sony has their games, but Sony is probably going to do that. But Microsoft needs to answer like what he said. Those are the kind of deals. You go get that game. Like, it's just passionate from me when somebody's like, what would you do? And I just will see red. I'm like, this is what I would do. And people are like, oh, that sounds a little crazy. Like, why would you do? But that's what they did. Microsoft conditioned me to be that way with their expectations. What they did with the 360, where they got GTA with my tattoos and going up and saying, we got timed exclusive GTA day and date, and we got brand new episodic games only coming to our platform. We got all the Rock Band games. We got all the Call of Duty maps. Here's Gears. Here's Gears 2. Here's Xbox Arcade. Here's Braid. Here's 1 versus 100. Here's Halo 2. Oh shit, here's Halo 3. Yo, here's ODST. Yo, keep going. Our Halo this generation has been all the old Halos that they're still trying to fix to this day. To this day.
Put that cookie down now!
Still trying to fix Master Chief Collection, which Master Chief Collection is a collection of old-ass games from 2001. That's what 343 of 500 goddamn people are doing right now. Oh, and they happen to make a new engine for Halo Infinite. Well, I'm spooked. Why is Halo called Halo Infinite? What happened to Halo 5? What is Halo Infinite going to be? I think you should be talking more about that than how many teraflops you got in your pants. Because there's some concerns with Halo, and you should be making sure that message. Don't have Aaron Greenberg dress up as goddamn Cortana in November and saying, here's Halo Infinite marketing. God damn it, no.
No deal.
Holy shit, Aaron Greenberg is dressed up as fucking Cortana? Get the fuck out of here.
Who is your daddy?
Don't do that.
Yes. Get Golden Axe. Jet Set Radio. You imagine if Phil Spencer comes out and goes, Jet Set Radio, only on Series X. Boom. Boom. You get Sega people crawling out who was shafted by Sega Genesis, the Sega Genesis portable console, the console that came out. What? What? You bring a Power Stone. Yo, Power Stone. You want to put it on everything, get ahead. You know, that ship has sailed. But damn. Even if you say Power Stone, only on Xbox Series X for only on. Just say only on. That's it. If it comes 6 months later to a year later, who gives a shit? But man, that's exciting times. That makes you want to go out and go buy one. Exactly, Transformers. Exactly. And you want to know what? You copy and paste that stuff on Twitter, and you will get diehard fans from both ends retweeting that and liking it. Because that's what people want to see. Even your Quantum Dream. Exactly, yeah, but not Xbox, right? Yeah, Quantum Dream games. And that's it, even Control. Control DLC comes out next week, the 26th, right? It comes out on PC and PlayStation 4 in March. And the Xbox doesn't get the Control DLC expansions until June. Who made that deal, Phil? And that's just a little taste. It's a no one likes everything. You're right, Transformers. But that's the little taste. That's the taste. But that's a little taste in a big scheme of things. That one thing alone doesn't make you like win, right? Yeah, I know social. Like, you know, and they also had to deal with Control. But I'm just saying, and I'm not saying Control specifically, but a move like that is just a little taste of things that they should be doing more of. Especially if they're trying to sell a premium product to a premium audience, you got to make them feel premium. And for some reason, some people just dug out. Well, I don't want to be premium. Exclusives everywhere. I just prefer to play here. You want to know what? That's a dying talk. That's talk of a failed problem. If you're going to put this much research and development into a console and this much power into a console, then you support that, and you support the customers of that you're marketing to. And I think Sony is going to do that with theirs. And that's why I think we'll have another situation like the X and the Pro, where the PlayStation 5, even with its little bit lower teraflop count, but faster SSD, will show games that only are on there that will look incredible, and Microsoft will be showing multiplats and old games running better. And I think that's not a good way to do it. You know, from what they showed of Halo, doesn't even look that impressive if that's running on a Series X. And the same thing with Hellblade. Hellblade wasn't gameplay. That was some like smoke and mirrors. Let's see some gameplay of Hellblade. Hopefully they do. But the PlayStation 5 is a beast. It is. And the Xbox is a bigger beast. But the power difference is not that grand to make you think that it's going to shift the mind share of anybody. It's going to be the games. It's going to be the price. And if Microsoft says that they're the bigger beast and they had to put more power in their console because Sony optimized for pricing and power, similar to the PlayStation 4 Pro and the PlayStation 4, the balance of power and price. We're not going to outprice our competition. We're not going to outprice the consumer by just throwing and brute forcing technology. We're going to customize that technology because the money that we spent in research and development to optimize the system is going to pay off because it's going to be easier for developers to make, and it's going to keep the cost of the console down so we don't need to take a big hit. It makes sense. It's smart business. You don't want to just like if you're going to open up a business, say you're going to open up restaurants are easy things. If you're going to open up a business and you don't know what the hell you're doing, you're going to go buy the ingredients of like, you're going to get shipped these exclusive mushrooms and these amazing things. And you're going to spend all your money in buying this top product to make a soup and not highlight the dish. I watch a lot of cooking shows and things like that. You know, make the mushroom shine. Don't just go out there and just go buy these most expensive ingredients. And just because they're expensive means that you're going to be chef of the future or the restaurant of the year. It's the creative stuff where people take just household normal things and make a masterful dish with it. Take that leftover chicken, and make it a 5-star meal. That's how the restaurant business works. They don't go spend tons, make that mushroom shine. Pause. That's right, Gunther. That's right, Gunther. That is pretty funny. Make that mushroom shine. That's right. Pause. Exactly. You're not going to go good. And social joints, exactly. That's a perfect example right there. The overspending on Ninja. The overspending on the X. The marketing of the X. They blew their load with the X. But like all this overcompensation. They spent that money on Shroud, on Ninja. And what did it do for Mixer? What? Instead of taking the creators that really are passionate about the Mixer platform. Roll that mushroom tip. There you go. Make it shine. Spit shine. Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
It's time to quit jammering before I start hammering.
But that's right. Take that. He'll jump out of a fridge for the launch. He'll come out and hey, it eats monsters for breakfast. He jumps out of a refrigerator. But you take the ingredients that you have and you make something better. And that's kind of like the structure of what Mark Cerny was talking about. He's taking the system, customizing it, and he's making it do things just like he did with the PlayStation 4 Pro and keeping the cost down and making 4K checkerboarding and giving you... Nobody was complaining about blurry textures on Spider-Man. Like, wow, this looks great. Horizon Zero Dawn, this looks great. Share it out. Share those videos. Yeah. Nobody could even kill checkerboard, not checkerboard. Who cares? Like, this is great. It wasn't until the X came out where everybody's like, it's native, it's checkerboarded, it's true 4K, it's this 4K, my ass 4K. The thing is like, it didn't matter because they were achieving similar things. Whether it's finesse or finesse or whether it's slyness, I have no clue. But all I know is I paid $400 and getting a 4K, close to 4K experience, but it looks great to me. I'll be a damn monkey uncle, you know? It looks great to me. No complaints here. And that's the difference. Where Microsoft had to throw all this power in it. But that's why when people are like, is it a beast? Is it weak? The thing is that it's not just the best ingredients are not going to just make the game or the meal the best. All right? It'll probably taste good. But it's really special when somebody could take just regular ingredients and make them a premium, the same type of dish. And guess what happens? As a restaurateur, as somebody, you want that person because that person can make better things with less stuff than the one who has to spend all your money and you don't make a profit. Exactly. The Pro's a 1440p bargain device. Anybody complaining? Was anybody counting pixels and complaining? And then on top of it, you got exclusives. Was anybody sitting there? Was anybody sitting there and counting the pixels on Kratos' head? All I know is I saw pictures of that thing. You wouldn't even know what. It's like, oh my god, it looks incredible. I don't give a shit what it's doing. Exactly, Transformers. And then that's my biggest underlining concerns. Because we're sitting here acting like Microsoft with the Series X is going to be the Xbox of old. You know? But Matt Booty said it. Yoshida Matt Booty, he's saying, Yoshida isn't talking about AA filler. He's not talking about small focused games. Matt Booty said the studios we bought are not making AAA games, 40-hour AAA games. But what they are making as close to AAA as we can get. So what the hell are you sitting here on podcasts and Twitter going like the bangers are coming for Xbox? From who? What did I not hear? Like, who is saying, like, all the bangers are coming, the games are going to take advantage? He just said that. What is he going to do? An 8-hour game that looks good, it's over in 2 minutes? A small AA game? And what does that mean? Does that mean you don't market it? Does that mean that you don't dress up Aaron Greenberg and have him run around the hallways? Like, what does that mean? When you say AAA, a AA as you can get, does it mean how you're handling Bleeding Edge? Does it mean how you handling like Lucky's Tales? Does it mean how you handled like State of Decay 2? Is that what AA means? That you don't market the game, or you just kind of just dump it in Game Pass and say, yeah, a million people played it this weekend for free for $1 a month. Yeah. That doesn't sound very exciting as a gamer. Booty games. That don't sound exciting. That's neat. But you better you need your equivalents to what your competition is delivering. Nintendo too. Nintendo's making like Animal Crossing. They brought that back. People were crying at PAX. Dude, they were crying at PAX because Animal Crossing came back. They were crying. They're like, oh. They're giving their fans what they want. They're playing on their fans' heartstrings. They're giving them what they want, and people are playing Animal Crossing this weekend. Just like, and then another thing, the Predator game. I played that Predator game. I'm not hanging my hat going like, this is it. Go buy a PlayStation to play Predator. No. But it's a smart deal. They got an IP. They got the studio that made Friday the 13th, and it said, hey, we would like you to put this game on our platform. Microsoft don't have Predator. And maybe it's a great game. Maybe it's a bad game. The thing is, the fact that Sony went after that and got that game on their platform excites me as a gamer and owner of that platform. That's the thing. The mentality, just like what Transformers said, the mentality is to still entertain me as the console owner. Booty and Phil, their ideal thing is to get you to just stay subscribed to their service. They're not there to entertain me with marketing deals and things like that. You want to give me, Yakuza 0 when there's 8 of them. Oh, those Final Fantasies are coming to Game Pass. When? They're old-ass Final Fantasy games. Did you get 7? No. Well, who gives a shit? Those games were on PlayStation for 10 years. Did you get the new one, the remastered one? No, we didn't get that one. Okay. You get Yakuza 8 in Japan. Phil, when you were there, did you say Yakuza 8 I wanted to launch on Xbox? No, he said, give me 0. I'll take 0 and Konami. And I'll take 0 and Kiwami too. It's like, oh, shit. Like, Phil, you weren't over there going, hey, Yakuza 8's coming out. Let's go put that on Xbox first. Oh, no, thanks. It's all, yeah. Exactly, Social. Newsflash, both are supercars. They're both beasts. And only one good driver. The games will decide the race. And that is a great analogy. And that's exactly where we're at right now. And that's the thing. They're both beasts. It's exciting. It's going to be great. I'm interested to see what the price is. Because if they're both $500 and Microsoft comes up with a lineup of games like Transformers said, or like comes back to the old and gets some great deals, we might be in for a very exciting time in getting both of them. But if Sony comes out at $400 and it has a killer lineup of games and announces Spider-Man for next year, has Horizon Zero Dawn 2 coming out this year on the tail end of having Last of Us 2, dude, if we're like that, and Microsoft comes out and says, hey, well, we have more teraflops, we're $500, and then says, here's Halo Infinite, and Halo Infinite looks like in Digital Foundry's thing, like it's like, oh, it looks a little bit better on the X and the Series X, and you know, and it's scalable. It's still run. Like, that's not gonna cut it, dude. No way. And I know, DeFloyd. I know it's gonna be a shitstorm. That's why the thing that I'm gonna end on this thing. The thing that I'm waiting for is the Sony reveal and the Xbox reveal of the games that we're gonna see for next generation. That will decide on where the people go. That's the only opportunity that Microsoft has to turn heads. I stated that they should have started that last year when they only had the show to themselves and Sony said they were out. I thought Microsoft should have used last year not to talk about the console, but to say, hey, here are some of the next-gen games we're working on and show them. And they didn't do it, but they didn't do next generation and show a new IP or show something. They failed last E3. They fell flat on their face as being the only ones in town. They showed all third party and they just talked about bull. And I thought they should have did it last year. Sony was quiet. You start talking about next gen games now. Oh man, what did Transformers say now? He's been cracking me up. Phil's gone away with a lot. The media really questions him. I don't get it. I don't get it, to be honest. I don't get it, to be honest. Yeah. Well, that's why Phil Ness exists. You know? That's why. Because he talks out, if he's talking to PC gaming, he tells you how PCs are the best. When he's looking at FanFest, he's telling those guys, hey guys, play your games where you want. He gives Gears Tactics is coming out the end of April as a PC exclusive. Why? You talked about controller support and keyboard support on the console. What happened to the keyboard support on the Xbox? Remember that was a thing. What games to support the keyboard? This is what I mean. Microsoft is consistently smoke and mirrors, things that made a big deal. Oh, keyboard's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Well, it's been here for over a year, Phil. What have you done with keyboard support on Xbox? Goddamn nothing. Phil, UWP was supposed to save us. It was supposed to make PC games on Xbox. You ported it overnight and while taking a shit. UWP dead. DirectX 12, the cloud, the secret sauce. Crackdown 3 using 15 Xboxes to power those trash-ass buildings. Have they added more than 3 maps? Can you get a game online? Is it on 1 billion devices? What does it matter? All this hyperbole, all this talk, that's what grinds my gears. All they do is talk. Sony, even if they're quiet, they're still giving me games that I want to play. So please, hold Microsoft's foot to the flames. Don't let up. Stop giving them excuses and stop telling people to wait. It's unacceptable what they did to us this generation by just giving up on us and trying to pacify us with some teraflop bullshit pacifiers while they wanted me to spend $500 more on hardware for their bitch-ass mistake and they weren't going to use it. It's unacceptable, and that's why they lost gamers' respect. They lost my respect, and that's why I call that son of a bitch #Phil Ness. And they got to get that respect back. Otherwise, they're going to be an app on a goddamn phone in Android and somewhere in China. Because that's all they give a shit about. And Nintendo and Sony will duke it out here in the States and across the world. Because all Phil wants, and Satya, that son of a bitch up there, wants to have an app on everything. He don't care about console. He don't even know what the hell an Xbox is. He calls it a goddamn Nintendo. He gets Phil in a room and he goes, Phil, how's our Nintendo doing? Like my mom used to always say, shut that Nintendo off. Mom, it's a fucking Sega. I'm taking those Nintendo controls away. Mom, it's an Xbox. I don't give a shit. Give me that Nintendo. That's how Satya treats the Xbox. It's his Nintendo. He have no friggin' clue what the hell an Xbox is. Just slapped him on the ass and tattooed an X right to his ass. He wouldn't even know what the hell it is. He'll get a tramp stamp of an X right on his ass. He won't even know, what's this? I thought we had Nintendo. No, it's not there. We don't have a Nintendo. Please, I'm sorry. It's called an Xbox. What? Who? Nintendo? Let's see. The gauntlets have been thrown down. The spec sheet is done. Insiders, take a friggin' hike. Stop talking the specs. Stop matching it up. Tell me about percentage of GPU. And stop trying to make 2013 happen for Sony. Okay? It's not the same. Microsoft disrespected their gamers. What Cerny did was just miss his audience. He did not talk about the PlayStation and being as a VCR. Okay? He did not talk about, oh, you're not going to be able to play all your old games ever again. Just keep your old PlayStation 4s. Cerny didn't do that. Cerny didn't say, well, I'm putting a camera here so you can dance in front of it and not play games. And guess what? Nobody's going to make games for this camera, but I'm still putting it in here because people will make games if I just put it in the box. Cerny didn't do that. Okay? Sony's still favoring their messaging. Satya thought that the Xbox was a Blu-ray porn box set. That's right. That's the thing. The gauntlets have been thrown. And you got a Grinds My Gears today, guys. And I want to thank you again for coming out. You know, Transformers, Glinda, D, Social, DeFloyd, all you guys, man. All you guys in the chat, thank you so much for coming out here and doing a genuine Grinds My Gears. Sam Ash, thank you. Socrates, Garuda. I know it's late. It's a Saturday night. You guys stay safe out there. And you know more is coming because we need to see better. And I want to thank you guys for coming out. And share out this video, man. And I'll be back. I'll be back. I don't even have that one. I'll be back. But thank you again, guys. I appreciate it. And I'll be back with another one. And hopefully, stay safe. And we'll see what the news of next week's news will be. And we'll be doing another one. But thank you again, everybody. I'm out.